Alright guys, welcome back to Crunch Time, the show where you get the best NBA DFS picks each and every day. Today we have a nice 12-game slate here. Or sorry, not 12-game. Wait, is it 12? 6-game slate? My bad. No. What is it? 7-game slate. 12-game slate. That's too big. Joined as always with Chris. How are you doing today, Chris? You had some MLB action earlier on. How's that going?
Yeah, I didn't play this morning. Usually like to play the next day after opening day, but yeah, this NBA slate looks good. We have a ton of news here, so gonna be chalky, like it's been the last couple of days with all the news. But yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
How many games or yeah, how many games are in the MLB slate today?
Well, there's like a bunch of different slates. I think like maybe 8 or so in the main slate.
Okay,
But overall in the day, there's probably like 15.
got it. Let's open up the Discord, see what we got here from yesterday. I think it was a quiet night. Um, did we? I don't know if we did this one. Um, did we do this one, Chris? College basketball yesterday from Nick.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think
Well,
so.
we can just start here. $20, 25. Good stuff. Uh, this one, this is you yesterday. Main slate here. Harden, he left the game, right? Near the third quarter or something like that.
Yeah, start of
Um,
the third quarter.
Pardon?
Start of the third quarter.
Got it. Yeah, we had a huge game from, I know Van Fleet had a big one. Why is this so tight? What happened here?
I mean, just clearly an obvious team. There's like 100 people with this team in every contest, so that's how it goes. But I don't know what this guy said above. He said it's been shaky recently. Doesn't really make sense. Like the team is the absolute optimal. Like there's everyone's on this team because it's so obvious. So yeah, I don't really understand that.
Well, let's tackle that one for a bit, Chris. Do we have the contest link? Like, I'm just wondering, like, when you hear someone else say it's shaky, do you look at it more in terms of like if it won or not the previous day, or do you look at it in terms of whether or not like the roster construction is solid, whether or not that's what a lot of like professional players land on? Like, what do you look at when you gauge? I guess like the I don't know. I guess how solid or how viable the optimal lineups have been. What do you look at there?
Yeah, I don't care about the results. I just care about the lineup. But like at the same time, if you scroll down, like I play higher stakes, so everyone has the same lineup. I play against better players, but you can see Aiden here. He played the optimal. He plays $1 and $2 head to heads. He ended up almost doubling up. So yeah, I'm not sure what that's all about, but yeah, I mean, like you can say it's been shaky, but I mean, like it's better that you're landing on the same lineup as a bunch of pros. Like all the best players land on this lineup.
Yeah, because what
So
would the other way to look at it be? Like if you let's just say like the optimal landed on something that was less chalky, for example, in cash formats. Um, like in your eyes, you would probably consider that less, even if it won and it had some strange players who were a little bit less owned. Like, would you consider that like worse or like I don't know? I'm just wondering how you look at it. Like as a well, you've been in the
yeah,
game for a while, so you have kind of like the long term view on things. I know sometimes if you're new or if you're not even playing like consistently, sometimes you kind of get caught up in the day to day as opposed to you kind of have like the season long outlook for each sport. Obviously, if you have like a longer term outlook, um, and your decision making lands you on what a lot of professional players are landing on. I think that's a good sign. But if you're just taking it like week by week, for example, like if you just picked it up this week and even though the lineup landed on what a lot of professionals landed on, your results might not be there, right? Just because you're looking at it kind of zoomed in on like the last 4 days or 5 days or whenever you started playing. What would you say to people who kind of don't have that like longer term outlook here?
I mean, you probably shouldn't be playing DFS if you don't have that outlook. Like there's a ton of variance on a day to day basis. So I mean, like you said, you have to treat it as a whole season in its entirety. So yeah, that's how I handle that. But yeah, with your first question about the lineup construction, like I don't really judge it or gauge it on the chalkiness of the lineup. I care about what other players I kind of look up to, what they landed on if they have similar plays. Like sometimes we get like a 10% guy who all my favorite players landed on that lineup, or not that lineup, just that play in general. He could be 10%. Like I still think it's a great play. Um, but yeah, like if we faded Harden here, we would have won. Um, but I mean, that would have been much worse. Like you wouldn't have been on the chalky lineup, obviously, but if you faded Harden, you would have won because he got hurt. But yeah, like I don't know. It's hard to say. So yeah, if you faded Harden here, you would have won, but your lineup would have been like trash going into the slate. Um, and yeah, that's also a reason why this lineup didn't end up performing better results wise. Like even though Harden is he's 80% owned at cash games, there's still 20% of people who don't have him, and he's the 12K salary guy. So that's like 1/6 of your entire salary for your lineup. That 20% of people are automatically above you. So yeah, there's been a ton of injuries as well. Like we had that day with Beal and Grant on both sites. So yeah, that's also why you can't treat it just day to day. Like there's so much variance. There's so much that can happen on any given day. So yeah, that's how I look at it.
Yeah. So the process is what you trust. Like you said, you look at the players you look up to, see what they're landing on, see the decisions they make, and then that you put more faith in that than say if you faded
Yeah,
Harden and then he got hurt and then you ended up winning without Harden because you saved 1/6 of your salary elsewhere. The decision making process for that might not be as solid because nobody would have predicted Harden getting hurt in the game, right?
yeah, and at the same time, like at this point, I personally don't really like look at these other people and kind of look up to them anymore. Um, like I've been playing so long that I can kind of judge my plays on their own and kind of make the decision if it was a good play or not in hindsight. Um, but yeah, like if you're a newer player who hasn't been playing for I don't know 5 years, 6 years, um, just find some players, like find good players. We talk about them all the time on the show, like McLovin, Hoop, B. Kreider, all these people at the top of the high stakes. They play like what 10 times, 20 times more in entry fees than me. So compared to them, I'm still very small. So yeah, you can look up those people. They play I don't know like 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K a day. So you can kind of judge the lineups based on that because I mean if they're playing crappy lineups, playing 40K, 50K a day, like they're going to be losing players. So clearly they're not losing players if they're playing that much money every day.
Yeah, so I guess number one, zoom out, have a longer term outlook. Number two, see what other solid players are. I guess identify like solid players you can study, see what they do, see what decisions they're making. We do go over that in the show as well, so you can also do that here with us. So I guess those are the two biggest things if you are maybe getting frustrated or something with DFS. I'm not calling out Fowler or anything like that, but I know it's like a common feeling that people may have playing DFS. So just keep that in mind. Have like a longer term outlook. Um, that's for cash for sure. But yeah, Hug says made enough money after taxes, buy some beer and a pizza. How many Domino's pizzas could you get? This is still like what is this? How much did you make? 70. That's quite a bit, like 200 almost.
Yeah, I think I broke even on DK though, or not broke even. I think I lost like $100 there. So if you combine them, Hug's probably right.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up playing some tournaments as well on DK. Actually got my EuroLeague check finally yesterday, so I can start depositing that onto FanDuel and DK today or tomorrow. Then play a bit more there, but definitely like this $75, 150 max one. It's fun on DK. 100th place here. Ended up, I think we talked about some of these guys. I did have them in quite a few lineups. I did lock in Boucher. Didn't do too great, but wasn't too bad as well. Like, didn't really hurt me, but I don't think you can take anything down with a 24. I think it was like 5K. But yeah, I think we talked about DeRozan a bit, saying how he can pop off any given night. You said he's kind of matchup independent, but kind of streaky as well. So I did bump him up though. Kind of liked him.
Yeah, I mean, I hate him. Like, you're not going to win anything with DeRozan for I don't know how much he was here, like 8.5, maybe 8K, getting 42. Like, he seems to always get 42, never gets you those like 55, 60s. So
He could have.
that's why I hate him.
He could have for sure. We also talked about John Morant. I think he was like a bust up until I didn't watch that game, but up until like the third quarter, late in the third, or maybe it was even the fourth. Like I think he must have got like 30 or something fantasy points in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure what happened. Do you know about that, Chris?
Yeah, so I think he scored like 16 out of their last 18 points in that game.
Yeah, so he went kind of crazy. Only 2%. So I think that's kind of why I did well here. Primarily the John Morant. Switch, I think I bumped up his projections to like 48. I bumped up a few guys' projections. So I think I did that with DeRozan, locked in Boucher. I did bump up Covington as well. Just because I was talking about this the other day, but in the season-long fantasy league that we play in, we have Thomas. He's in there. I'm playing against him in the head-to-head. He always gets super lucky. I feel like all his players do super well whenever I play against him in the weekly matchup. So he has Covington. I just thought he'd have a great game. So that was my decision making with Roko. Did have a pretty good game actually, so could have gone a bit better. But yeah, primarily it was the John Morant. I think I bumped him to 48 as well. So I just bumped up like 3 or 4 players, locked in Boucher. I think I put the uniques to like 2 or 3, and then set like 5 or 15% randomness, and then just ran with that. So not too much, but it was definitely a lot of fun. Had a few lineups at the top for a while, but yeah. On to the next slate. Got the hug here. What did he do? 20 to 70, 5 to 16. This is DK showdown slate here. Yeah, solid stuff there. Got 8 in here, like you said. Main slate, lower stakes guys. I guess competition's not as hard as the higher stake contests, so Opto did well there. Was this the DK Opto, Chris?
This was the second one. It was like a .03 difference between the first two lineups. But yeah, this one had OG and Kyle Anderson, who did really well. Mine had, I don't know, like Fred VanVleet and someone else who didn't do too well. But yeah, I didn't have Conley. Conley went for like 50, so that was a mistake on my part.
Yep. Yeah, then you did some more night slate here, turbo slate, after hours, showdown. Lots of slates for Aiden, as always. Solid results there. But yeah, just like with the Harden thing, like, I mean, the cool thing, I keep saying this, but the cool thing with the optimizer, like if you, for some reason, didn't want to play Harden, you could fade, and then you get the next opto without Harden. And the projections are still super sharp, like for all the other players. So you can cross out a guy if you don't like him and then fade. But like Chris said, like your lineup would look completely different. The decision making behind that probably wouldn't be as solid because I guess just the consensus of all the other top sharp players, they probably did not make that choice in their cash game. So, but it's an option with the optimizer. So that's why it's pretty cool. Solid starting point for any slate. But yeah, 7 games here, Chris. Any favorite news so far today? Teams to target, players that you like?
Yeah, we have a ton of news. So, I mean, Pelicans are missing everyone. Detroit's in a really good matchup against Washington. Clippers are missing Paul George. Cleveland is still missing the 2 bigs and Nance and Allen. So there's a ton of stuff here that we'll go over throughout the slate. Obviously, Harden is out again today. So Kyrie, Zion's out, yeah.
And Ball too. Is it an Ingram night?
Yeah, Pelicans are missing everyone, like I said. So yeah,
Is
definitely. Yep.
Oh wow, wow. Okay. Oh, that's why you have Alexander Walker, hey, as the cover.
Yep.
Got it. Spoiler alert there. Austin says, can't wait to get on your level, that level, Chris. Or I guess maybe the 30, 40, 50K a day level. I got Brent in here as well. Austin in here says, results DB, an amazing tool. Do you know what the differences are? Like, what can you do there?
Yeah, it is a really good tool. Like you can search the players. Like, I mean, if you want, we can pull it up. I don't think it'll be a problem.
I'm not
maybe we
should.
should.
I'd rather not.
Yeah, but it's like there's a section where you can like look up the players, and it's more of a tournament thing. So you can look up the players, see their exposure to each player in that contest. You can look at different contests, like 20 entry max, like all the contests from the previous day or whatever day you want to look at. Just look anyone up. You can click them, and then it shows their exposure. So you can click them and yourself, and then you can compare the exposure differences. So that's pretty cool in tournaments. But it's It's more of a tournament thing.
Is that for DK and FanDuel they have that?
No, they just have it for DK.
So do they have like a partnership with DK for the data, or do they just get it?
Uh, no, because on DK there's just you can
Oh
export to
yeah.
CSV.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. I think I've tried it out before. I feel like I would love to add that in at some point, but I think there's just some other things that we have to prioritize prior to that. But I feel like that would be a good thing to have.
Yeah,
Um,
it should definitely be at the top of the list. It's a very like it's a feature that can help a lot of people learn, especially if we implement our own ideas, make it better. Add FanDuel, so it's definitely a feature that is very valuable.
I mean, I think we can do it. I think we can get all the data.
I think it's free too for them.
Yeah. Yeah, we should definitely look into that. I think first up, we probably have to get MLB patched up, get it ready, get it 100%. Get the light swap working there. And this is probably something we can look at soon. Maybe get it started in April sometime.
Yeah, I mean, late swap was working last year, so it just needs to be updated a little bit. I think with the FanDuel multi positions and stuff like that. So it was working before, so it'll be working tonight or probably tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a good feature for sure. I like to do my homework, so if I could like look up all the players in these main contests, that'd be pretty cool for sure. Like, just wondering, Chris, just to expand on this a bit more, like, which contests would we have data for? Would we get data for like the mini monster 4 entry max?
I mean, we can just set a filter so it's only like the because we're sorting by prize pool, so we could do like 10K and above. So it would be these 10K and above contests.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be pretty cool because I'd love to see what other people do in their contests. I know we can get that data because I mean we can open up these contests. So I mean that means we can get all the data. Like we can see. I guess well these are today's, so we can't see that, but yeah, we could definitely add that in. Let's see what Austin says. Study lineups and look at exposures from other players. Can we get the builds actual data soon, please? Can we get the
Bill,
builds? What does that mean?
not sure.
The builds actual data? What do you mean by that, Austin? Let me know. Maybe
He'll
expand.
confirm it.
Huh?
He'll confirm what he means.
Yeah, for sure. But let's get into it. We can see what he says after we go over the first game. So first up, we got Philadelphia here against the Cavs. Philadelphia side, we got Mason Jones out, Ignas Brazdeikis out, Joel Embiid out, George Hill out. Projected starters: Benjamin Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Dwight Howard. I hope Simmons does well today. Otherwise, I'm going to call him out again. Just wondering, are we interested in Simmons at all today, Chris?
Not anymore. We were when we didn't have any news. Now we have a bunch of news. This is the ugliest game of the slate, biggest spread, lowest over under. So I don't really want to take anyone here. Like you can take some shots on Simmons in tournaments, go for the upside that he has. But like you said, he hasn't been playing too well. I mean, they're going to win this game most likely, so you have that going for you. He's probably going to get at least 36 minutes here. So I like him in tournaments, but for the most part, I'll try to stay away from the Philadelphia 76ers where I can. I think Dwight Howard's also a decent option on FanDuel for 5.1K. But like I said, I'd rather just stay away here.
Got it. I got your contest. You want to go over the contest? Forgot about that.
I mean, yeah, we could just go over quickly. I mean, everyone played the same lineup, so yeah, it's going to be very similar today in the same way ever since we've been getting a lot of injury news. Yeah, so I mean, like everyone here, there was a 2v2 with Conley and Brown versus people who played Drummond. Drummond had the toenail, so he didn't play the second half. It didn't look good in the first half either, but yeah, people played Drummond and like DeJounte or Drummond and Chris Paul, one of those two. So that was just the 2v2, but I mean, everyone landed on this team. I think the other one was the RG team. That one got like 280, 290. This one got 323. But yeah, you can scroll through. If can you just scroll to the first page again? Yeah, so like most of these people probably didn't have Harden. If I had to guess, we could just take a look. Well, this one had Harden. This one had Harden.
They all have Harden.
This one had Harden. This one had Harden. This
But
one
I
didn't
mean,
have
the
Harden.
scores are still pretty close. Like, you have
Oh
to
yeah, I
get
mean,
some
if
random
Harden
guys
played,
here.
he would have definitely beat this team. Scroll up. So that's 7 more points. This one didn't have Harden, but yeah. So Harden was just 25 more points. Like Harden would get 25 more points here.
But I mean, you're
So
going
this
to
team,
plays like Roko here in cash.
yeah. Well, this isn't good construction. Like if you excluded Harden from the optimizer yesterday, you probably would have gotten off of like Roby up to Giannis, and then from Harden to I don't know, someone in the 4 to 5K range. But yeah, this team didn't have Harden. So I mean, a few teams here above didn't have Harden. This one didn't either. 13 points ahead, so this one would have lost as well. This one would have lost as well. 10 points ahead. So
SGA?
that
Like, this is ridiculous. Like, what?
yeah, this guy's a noob. He doesn't have any experience tag, but
I mean,
yeah, he beat me with SGA.
this is what it took to win the slate yesterday. You had to lock in someone with what is it, plantar flat fasciitis or whatever, foot pain.
Yeah.
Um, like this guy's out for a while. OKC's tanking for sure, and like just to play like that is what you
Well,
needed.
we got a home run, Cody Bellinger.
You have him.
Yeah, I have him.
Nice, nice, nice.
Belly bomb.
Um, yeah, I mean this is nuts. Like that is crazy. That this guy had SGA. Um, yeah. What was the RG one? Let's quickly look at that one.
Yeah, so I mean, you can see everyone has this team here. RG1, I think it was lower. I think it was the 280. Yeah, this one actually. No, no. Yeah, this one. DeJounte Murray and Drummond instead of Conley and Moses Brown. So, yeah.
Yep. Um, yeah, interesting slate for sure. Okay, DK quickly, Chris.
Yeah, DK here. It was more of a decision. Like I said, I didn't have Conley here. Definitely should have went with Conley. I think he was just the safer option there. But yeah, I had Royce O'Neal. He was my lone guy. Roby as well, and then V who played well. So yeah, this one I broke even here as well. Lost a little bit, like $100, but yeah, I mean, Harden getting hurt was the main problem here.
Yep. Should we look through or nah?
I mean, we can like some people here. Like it was all very close. Everyone was in the similar range. Like this team had Conley. Conley went for 50. Um, Still beat it out because Melton 5% here went for 8. But yeah, DK was a little bit different. Um, yeah, scroll to the top. Yeah, so that 299.25 team is the team that we saw Rondo have. That was the team that was like 0.05 points away with Kyle Anderson here. This one had Conley. So I think I should have landed on this lineup instead. Just should have locked in Conley and Clarkson. Like that duo was so safe. But yeah, that's the change I would make.
Yeah, I think actually in tournaments I did crank these guys up as well, so that was part of it for me. But I think the primarily it was probably the Boucher lock that hurt me the most, just because only went for I think it was like right about 5x, so that one hurt me for sure. But no regrets. It's Chris Boucher and the Toronto Raptors. I would do it again. But yeah, I just got an update. Austin, he says the feature he said for the actual builds actual data. I would like to look at yesterday's past builds. I guess this one here. Hit the plus sign and see the projected fantasy points and see actual scores.
Oh yeah, like yeah, that makes sense. We need to expand on this. I don't think you've built for this slate yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we need to expand on this this feature here, past builds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just have to. I don't know, but yeah, we need to rework it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, I mean, some of these features, like, we used to have, like, a news feature here. Did we get rid of the Twitter feature, Chris?
No.
Really? Where is it?
I don't know. It used to be there.
Yeah, we got to add
But I
that one
mean,
back in. For some reason, I thought we didn't want it. Let's add that one back in. But I was just saying, like, some of these features we added, but just haven't had time to, like, fully develop them yet. Just because, like I said, like, there's a lot to work on. And I wish we had more guys working at DFS Crunch, but we're just limited still with our resources. So we're just trying to prioritize certain things. But definitely, like, all these ideas, I do really like them and I do want to add them. Just will take some time to get there and just develop all these things. So definitely have, like, a lot of ideas that we want to implement that I don't think other optimizers have. So there's a lot of new things that I want to add, but I think first, just like the core baseline features that everyone's expecting, everyone's used to, those need to be prioritized first. And I think those are more important to get before we work on things like that. But I think some of these things are pretty quick to add in. So I think we can do the past builds one, add that one in. Apparently that home run was taken away, Chris.
yeah, I heard.
Yeah. Austin says that's what I am here for. But yeah, should we just quickly summarize the 76ers before we do the Cavs, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I already went over the 76ers, but yeah, like you said, summarize. Don't really want to play anyone here. Lowest over under on the slate, highest spread at 10. So, I mean, I'm going to stay away. You can play Ben Simmons in tournaments, Howard on FanDuel if you want to go there in cash games, but yeah, it's mostly a stay away spot for me.
Okay. Cavaliers side, we got Jarrett Allen out, concussion protocol, or I don't know if it's protocol or if he's just dealing with it. Larry Nance also out. Dylan Windler doubtful. Matthew Dellavedova questionable. Kevin Love questionable. Projected starters: Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Isaiah Okoro, Kevin Love, and Isaiah Hartenstein. So I actually have two Isaiahs, Chris, in the starting lineup. Is this a team that depends on Kevin Love being in or out, or is it just like a? I mean, I feel like Kevin Love is very shaky, can get hurt anytime he's on the floor. What are your thoughts on the Cavs here?
Kevin Love, he sucks.
Yeah, I know, but
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
matter
Does
at
it
all.
change anything
But
at all?
no, it doesn't change anything. Is he playing today?
Yeah, maybe. Questionable.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't even know that. He doesn't matter at all. Unless he's playing 30 plus minutes.
He might go to Brooklyn.
Might go to Brooklyn. Yeah, I don't think so. His contract's too big. But you said they have two Isaiahs. Who's the second one?
Isn't it Hartenstein?
Who's the first one?
Oh, sorry, that's Isaac Okoro. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, on this side, I only have interest in one guy. I think he's pretty much a lock on both sides. It is Isaiah Hartenstein. I was talking about him having those big games in his starts last year for, I think, Denver and Houston, maybe just Houston, actually. But yeah, you got the start last game for the Cavs with Allen and Nance out. Went for, I think, 36. So he's 4K here. On FanDuel, I think on DK he's around 4K as well. Maybe a little bit more, actually a little less at 3.7. But yeah, that's an easy lock. He's going to be probably 90% owned in cash games. Just a free square there, in my opinion. So got to play him. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me from the Cavs. I just want to take advantage of value here. Maybe Dean Wade is pretty sneaky because Nance and Allen are out as well. Maybe if Hartenstein gets in quick foul trouble, Dean Wade can play most of the game. So I think that's pretty sneaky, but only in tournaments if you're doing that.
Yep. Let's go into the next one. Washington against Detroit. Washington side, we got Gafford out for them. Bertans out. Ish Smith out. Raul Neto, questionable tag. And then this is a pretty big one. Brad Beal, also questionable tag. Projected starters right now, we have Westbrook, Beal, Danny Avdija, Rui Hachimura, and Alex Len. This Beal situation, Chris, questionable tag. Pretty important here. I'm assuming if he's out, it makes Westbrook an absolute lock, must play. If he's in, I guess, what are your thoughts on the Beal situation here? Start off with that.
Yeah, so I mean we're very loaded at point guard right now, so I mean it'll be a decision. It's not like he's going to be an absolute lock if Beal is out, just because he's priced pretty highly. We have Kyrie with no Harden, who's around 10K on both sides, and then we have Bledsoe, who's also point guard, and they're missing their entire team. So it's not just a instant lock like it usually is if Beal's out. So there's going to be some decisions there. Obviously, I'll like him a lot. I'll probably play him. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think Beal probably ends up playing here. So it's a pace down spot for the Wizards. I don't love the matchup much. I'm going to play guys from the other side of this game, but I think I'll just probably stay away from the Wizards side here today.
Okay.
Unless we get Beal out, of course.
Gotcha. I guess if that happens after the show, we can touch on that in the Discord. That's what we usually do. Detroit side, we got Killian Hayes out for them, Jahlil Okafor out, Hamidou Diallo out, Rodney McGruder out, and we have Dennis Smith Jr. questionable, Wayne Ellington questionable, and then Sekou Dembuya probable tag. Projected starters right now, we have Dennis Smith Jr., Ellington, Bay, Grant, and Plumlee. So if we have Ellington or Dennis Smith Jr. out, Chris, does that really change things up for us in terms of interest, or do we already kind of know what we think about Detroit right now?
Yeah, I think I don't know. If Ellington is out, maybe we can play guys like Corey Joe, Saban Lee. So Diallo is out here, back to back, obviously. But I think if Ellington is out, they started Josh Jackson yesterday, so I think Josh Jackson would be very interesting in tournaments if he ends up starting again with Ellington out. But yeah, the main guys I want to focus here are the two guys up top. They're two bigs, Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee. I like Jeremy Grant a lot here today on both sides, 7.2 on DK, 6.6 on FanDuel, so really good price tag for him. I like him a lot on this slate. I love the matchup here. He had a ton of stocks yesterday. He went for 50, but I still think he can definitely pay off this price tag even without a crazy stocks game. So I'm very interested in him. And then Plumlee as well. 6K on FanDuel. DK, he is 6K as well. So I think he makes for a decent last piece. Good tournament option. We know the upside that he brings sometimes. So yeah, it's mostly going to be those two guys up top, and then if Ellington is out, you can play Josh Jackson in tournaments. I think that's very, very sneaky.
Okay. Let's see. Next up, we have Charlotte against Brooklyn. Let me just load that up. So Charlotte side, we just have Malik Monk probable over there. Projected starters: Devontae Graham, Terry Rozier, Hayward, Washington, and Biyombo. I think Washington was a chalky play last time. I think on the smaller slate, was it like the 4-game slate or something? Ended up going for another. I think we had some talk in the Discord. He had the bad stat line, but still got it done with like blocks, steals, and rebounds. I think. Was it this game here? I'm not sure, but anyway, last game he he had the same thing except no stocks. No blocks, no rebounds, no steals. So definitely burned us. Huh?
He got in foul trouble at the start of that game, like a minute in. So I mean, the difference between those two games, where he played 44 minutes in the 0-point game and then 23 minutes last game. But yeah, we don't need these guys today. Most likely in cash games. I think in tournaments they're very, very good plays here. Like I always say, I love targeting the Nets whenever I can. They don't play great defensively, so I actually think they're improving, but I still think they give up some big fantasy performances. So I do like some of these Hornets guys. not PJ Washington today. I mean, I think you can go there in tournaments, but you don't need it in cash games here. Um, Main guy for me is going to be Gordon Hayward, especially on FanDuel where he's 7K. I think that's a really good price tag for him. Seems to always produce whenever I play him, so I like him a lot. Terry Rozier, he's a guy he's just playing out of his mind this year, so I don't mind him if you want to go there. Same thing for Devontae Graham. Don't like him as much as last time because Malik Monk is back, but I do think Malik Monk is also interesting in tournaments. So, I mean, if you land on any of these guys in tournaments, I'm fine with it. If you want a cash guy from here, it's just going to be Gordon Hayward on FanDuel.
Okay. What do you think of? You mentioned Washington not in cash but tournaments. What do you think of his ownership? Because he did have that poor performance last game. So we do talk about that a bit when a guy's like quite chalky, has a poor performance, decent play or a good play the next day. Not saying he's a good play today, but seems like he's in a decent position on FanDuel with his price tag against the Nets. Could he go a little under-owned, or do you think on this bigger slate today, not as relevant, not as important, or could he have like a big game here?
I like him a lot. Like he's gonna go. I think he's gonna be very low owned. But it's a good matchup here. Like they played him 44 minutes when he wasn't in foul trouble the game before, so you can play him here. Like, he's not gonna pick up 2 quick fouls here, I don't imagine. So yeah, I like him a lot in tournaments.
Yeah, me too. Both sites for you, or just FanDuel better price tag?
What's his price tag on DK?
6.3, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The thing is, we just have so many guys, so many other guys that are in better positions. That's the only tough part about playing him. But yeah, I think 6.3 is probably a little too expensive. I think 5.5 on FanDuel is more appealing.
Yeah.
If you play him, you're probably going to get off of Jeremy Grant or Isaiah Hartenstein. Probably Jeremy Grant. So yeah, I don't mind pairing Washington with Hartenstein.
Brooklyn's side, you got KD out, Harden out, Griffin out, Shamet in, LMA in. Is this LMA's first game, Chris?
Yeah.
Got it. So projected starters: Irving, Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, and DeAndre Jordan. Anybody on the Nets, Chris, aside from Irving?
No one aside from Irving. Just because we have these Pelicans that are just crazy value here with everyone missing. We had interest in guys like Joe Harris, Bruce Brown earlier in the day, but then we got the Pelicans news. So yeah, we don't need them in cash games. I think in tournaments it could be interesting, but at the same time, they're still playing with Kyrie, so he's going to have the ball in his hands the most. I think they're better floor plays than ceiling plays, so I don't love it there. It's just going to be Kyrie who's a lock for me. He's 10K on FanDuel, I think 9.8 on DK. So just you got to play him, I think, with James Harden out here.
Yep, seems like it. Okay, let's load up the next game. Golden State Warriors, Miami Heat. Golden State side got Eric Pascal out for them. Steph Curry marked as in. Projected starters: Curry, Oubre, Wiggins, Green, and Wiseman. Anybody on the Warriors, Chris?
Yeah, not really. I mean, Steph Curry's back now. Second game back. He's always viable in cash games, always viable in tournaments. I don't think we need it here. This position is loaded. So yeah, I don't think we need anyone here.
Okay. Heat side, we have Haslam marked as in. I guess he's back from health and safety, so back on the bench. Got KZ Okpala out for them. Goran Dragic out. Kendrick Nunn questionable, and Oladipo probable. Right now, projected starters: Nunn, Butler, Robinson, Ariza, and Adebayo. If we do have Oladipo playing today, Chris, Nunn questionable. Is there a chance Oladipo could be slotted into the starting lineup?
I think he's going to start regardless. I think that's why they got him. But yeah, the matchup here is good against the Warriors. It's a team that we always like to target. So I like one guy here. So we have Dragic out. It makes me like Butler a lot more, especially on FanDuel. 9.3K price tag at small forward, which is kind of thin.
You said 9.3. He's 9.
Yeah, but just the way positions work on FanDuel, I just think he's a better play there. Like on DraftKings, these Pelicans guys, they all have multi-position eligibility. Um, so you can play like Hart at small forward on FanDuel. He's only shooting guard. So yeah, that's why I like him more on FanDuel there at small forward. We don't have any Pelicans at small forward on FanDuel. We're viable here. So yeah, it's a spend up spot. I like Jimmy Butler for 9.3K on FanDuel. 9K on DK. I mean, it's a good price tag, like you said. It's a better price tag, but just the way that the construction works, I think he's definitely a better play on FanDuel. But with that being said, you can play him on DK. No problems with that. He's probably the only guy I'm interested in. Bam is fine as well. But yeah, personally, I'm probably gonna stick to Butler here.
Okay. We got World King in the chat. What's up? Next game up, we got the Magic Pelicans against each other. Orlando side, we have Kareem Main out for them, Cole Anthony out, Gary Harris out. Projected starters: Michael Carter Williams, Dwayne Bacon, James Ennis, Chuma Okiki, and Kem Birch. Is Birch? Did he end up starting last time, Chris, or are they playing Wendell there?
No, Birch started last game.
But who gets more of a run there? Is it kind of split right now? Do you think? Like, what's going on there? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think they'll probably I think going forward they'll probably want to give Carter more minutes. He only played 18 last game.
Split.
Bamba's there as well. He played 18 as well. Birch played 19. So I mean, they play together sometimes, but I mean, you can't. It's hard to play them with that log jam there. I'm not too interested in the Magic guys here today. They're all kind of priced up now. It's a really good matchup though, so you have that going for you. I think Michael Carter Williams on FanDuel for 5.3 is pretty interesting. DK as well. He's 5.9K, so I don't think many people will play him. So that makes him interesting. Okiki been playing very well, but I mean, I don't know. I think I definitely don't want to play Okiki for 6K. So that's why I'm not going to do that. So yeah, not too interested in this side of the game, but the other side is very interesting with all the guys out.
You think we could see a big game out of any of the bigs on Orlando with no Zion there as the like a block threat there, paint protector, rim protector?
I mean, not really. They still have Steven Adams there, James Johnson, the Goon, Josh Hart's a good defender. So I mean, honestly, it makes them. I think it makes it a worse matchup. Like they got rid of Ingram and Zion, who have been really bad defenders this season. So they're probably going to become better defensively here today.
Got it. Pelicans side, we have Ball out, Zion out, and Ingram doubtful. Projected starters: Nikhil Alexander-Walker, Eric Bledsoe, Wesley Uwandu, I believe Wesley's first name, Josh Hart, and Steven Adams. Anybody that you like there, Chris?
Yeah, so this is a revenge game for Iwundu. He was on the Magic last year. He was on the Mavs earlier this year, but got traded to the Pelicans a few days ago. So revenge game for him. If you want to play him, he would have to start for me to play him. So I'm probably not going to do that just because I don't think he ends up starting. But I have a lot of interest in these Pelicans on both sites. This is where we get most of our core from. So I'll start with Eric Bledsoe at point guard, 5.5 on FanDuel, 5.1 on DK. You got to play this price tag without Zion and Ingram there. All these guys are going to get huge usage bumps. So Bledsoe's the first guy I'll mention. Josh Hart, 5.7K on DK, 5.3K on FanDuel. Same sort of thing. Going to get a huge usage bump here, so got to play him for this price tag. Nikhil Alexander-Walker, 5.8K on FanDuel, 6.1 on DK. Just another lock here. Huge usage bump with their main three guys out, so I love him. And then outside of those three guys, who I think are going to be the main source of offense from this team, I think there's some interesting value here. So like James Johnson for 3K on DK, 3.5 on FanDuel. I think that's pretty interesting as a sneaky option. We've seen him in starts in the past for other teams. Play really big roles. Like he's very active, gets steals and blocks, rebounds well, assists the ball well, scores as well. So I like James Johnson for the minimum price on both sites. I think he's really good value. I like Lewis as well at point guard for the Pelicans. Wouldn't play him together with Bledsoe. I think if Lewis is having a big game, Bledsoe probably doesn't. So I would set a group for that one. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Pelicans. So mostly the guys up top.
Okay. Next up, we have the Atlanta Hawks against the San Antonio Spurs. Atlanta side, Chris Dunn out for them. John Collins also out. I think he's out, or not even for a week, reevaluated in a week. So he's out for a while. Lou Will, probable. DeAndre Hunter, questionable. Projected starters, Trae Young, Bogey, Bogdanovich, Snell, Hill, and Capella. No Collins, Chris. We talk about playing Collins and Capella when they're in sometimes. I bring it up. But we always have that concern if they kind of eat into each other's production. With no Collins here, Chris, Capella seems like he could have a big game. He always has that like 50 upside. I guess going up against the Spurs. I'm just curious, how much does it change things going up against the Spurs first? And then, what do you think of Capella as like a tournament play?
Yeah, he's a great play today. So I think John Collins is out for like a week or so. That's what they said. But yeah, Capella's a great play here. I think he's going to go very under-owned just because we have all this other value. So I don't know, it's strange. Just the situation is great here. No John Collins, but we're not going to play him just because we have Hartenstein at center on DraftKings for 3.7. We have Plumlee as well, who I like there. And then on FanDuel, it's hard to spend up there, in my opinion. There's just cheap guys who are very interesting. So, he's in a great spot here. I think he's going to go under-owned for sure. He's my favorite Atlanta Hawk here with John Collins out. So I like him a lot in tournaments. Like you said, we've seen him go for 50 here in the same spot. He can go for 60. Like he can definitely have a huge game here. So I like him a lot.
We've seen him do it with Collins, as well.
Yeah, and we've seen him do it without Collins as well. So we've seen it both ways. So he's my favorite Atlanta Hawk. And then Trae Young, always viable in tournaments. Maybe you want to pair them together just because a lot of Capella's points come from Trae Young assists. So if you want to kind of correlate that way, you can do it. But yeah, those two guys are the only guys I'm interested in here from the Hawks just because we don't need their value. We just have great value from other teams. So that's it for the Hawks.
Yeah, I got some slate breaking news, Chris, here. Matthew Dellavedova is playing today, and Kevin Love is also playing today.
Nice. So, that we'll have to see what the minutes limit on Kevin Love is because if it's like 20, makes Hartenstein a little harder to play. I think he's still a decent option, but we'll have to see who they end up starting, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that kind of hurts Hartenstein.
Kevin Love, he can just go in and get hurt in like 5 minutes.
That's what happened last time.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Kevin Love. Seems like a kind of an ugly situation there. But yeah, I do like the Capella play quite a bit today. I feel like it's one of those changes, especially on FanDuel, where you only have one center. Kind of a spend up as well. So I feel like that's one of those things where if you did that in like a 150 tournament entry, that's like enough of a change to kind of make the rest of your builds unique. So that's like a big one that you can leverage that way. So it's an easy way to get a little bit different in tournaments in my eyes. Let's go into the Spurs here. Trey Lyles out, Lonnie Walker out, Keita Bates-Diop out, Gorgui Dieng, your boy Dieng, he is out. Projected starters, we have DeJounte Murray, Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Any interest there, Chris?
No, not really. I hate playing the Spurs. I definitely don't need to here on this slate where we have all this value from teams like Brooklyn, the Pelicans. I definitely don't need to play the Spurs here, and I'm not going to.
I'm just trying to see if I can find anything on Kevin Love's minutes. Is this an April Fool's joke, Chris?
Is what?
Kevin Love playing?
It could be.
Yeah, it could be. Okay, let me load up the last game here. Denver against the Clippers. Give me a sec. So Denver side, we got Monte Morris out for them. Projected starters: Jamal Murray, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic. So I think this is third time we've seen Gordon here on the Nuggets, Chris? Is that yep? So what do you make of the situation here? Is it digging into anyone's production on the Nuggets side? Is it helping anyone out? Just what do you think of this new situation here? When are guys in play? When are guys not in play?
Yeah, so I mean, the biggest guy that takes a bump down is Aaron Gordon himself. They've been in two blowouts, so it's hard to really gauge what they're going to do. But his usage rate the first game was 20%, second game was 10%. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to gauge with blowouts, but I think he's the one that will be affected the most. I mean, we've seen it a ton of times. Like a guy gets traded to a team, tries to be very passive, not aggressive. Like I think Oladipo is going to be in a similar situation. He's going to try to fit in with the team, not mess things up. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not going to play anyone here just because, like I keep saying, we have all these other great plays. We have other great spend ups. So Jokic, I don't think we need him here. So yeah, I don't know. It's mostly a stay away spot here for the
Gotcha.
Nuggets.
Last team to go over here, Clippers. We have Rondo out for them, saving himself for the playoffs probably. Serge Ibaka out, Paul George out, Pat Bev out, Marcus Morris questionable, and then projected starters: Jamal Murray, projected starters for the Clippers: Reginald Jackson, Luke Kennard, Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, and Ivica Zubac. Did Kennard have a big game last time? I think I was watching a bit. I think he was hitting every shot. Or was that like 2 games ago? Do you know?
Yeah, both games. He started both of those games. So Marcus Morris missed that game as well. He's questionable here today. But Kennard is kind of priced up now, especially on FanDuel. He was around the min before. Now he's 4.7. DraftKings, he's 4.2. But yeah, we don't really need this value. Like I said, we have the Pelicans value. The guy we're interested in is going to be Kawhi Leonard on both sites. 9.6 on FanDuel. I think 9.3K on DraftKings. So no Paul George here. No Paul George means we have to play Kawhi. Great spot, great spend up here. So he's the guy here for the Clippers for me.
Okay, nothing else there on the Clippers. Too much. I guess yeah, it's a pretty good slate. There's better plays elsewhere. Anything in tournaments maybe or no?
Yeah, I like Marcus Morris as well in cash games. Like maybe if Hartenstein doesn't end up starting, maybe if they increase Kevin Love's limit, we can't play Hartenstein. I like Marcus Morris there, but yeah, nothing else in tournaments. I mean, in tournaments, I shouldn't say that because anything is viable. Like Reggie Jackson, Batum, all those guys are viable in tournaments, but nothing else in cash games.
Gotcha. Okay, let's get into our 3 key plays for today's slate. First up, overall play of the day, safest play. Your favorite guy in all formats on FanDuel. Who do you have there, Chris?
On FanDuel, I'll go with Nickeil Alexander-Walker here. He's my favorite play on both sites.
Okay, and then value play on FanDuel. Who do you have?
Let's go with give me Josh Hart. He's similar price tag. I think both these guys are great value on this slate. I'll say Josh Hart.
Okay, and then tournament play of the day on FanDuel. Who's your guy there?
Go with Gordon Hayward here for 7K.
Okay, and then who are some of the other guys we talked about? We talked about, I think, Washington a bit, and I think Capella, right? Those were the 2 guys we kind of touched on as well.
Yeah, give me Capella instead of Hayward, actually.
Got it. Okay, you got it, Chris Capella. DK now, overall play of the day there. Who do you have?
Same thing. I'll go with Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Okay, and value play on DK?
Value play, I'll go with another cheap guy here. Or not another cheap guy. I'll go with a cheap guy here. I didn't on FanDuel, but I'll go with James Johnson for the min.
Nice. Get the goon in there. Get some protection. Tournament play, who do you have?
Tournament play, give me Capella here again.
Nice, Clint. Okay, I like that. But yeah, we did also talk about Washington in tournaments. I kind of like that one because of, I guess, some poor performances, especially when he was chalky last slate. So I do like Washington as well, but probably Capella a bit more. But like I said, I feel like if you have Washington on your FanDuel, probably won't change as much as if you have Capella over there just because of one center and then the big price tag on Capella. So I feel like the Capella one would give you more leverage just from one play if you're thinking about that one. Let's go over some cores on FanDuel first. So you have Kawhi Leonard. A few guys missing there. So no George, no Beverly, no Ibaka. There's lots of guys out there. You got Walker here, no guys on New Orleans. Hart as well, and Bledsoe. Pelicans value there today. Anything else on these guys that you want to say?
No, I mean I've been talking about the whole show. You mentioned exactly what I was going to say. Just in great situations that we have to take advantage of.
Yep. And still priced as if they weren't. So good pricing as well. So we have first two here, seeing some Jimmy buckets, some Hayward in the second one. So quite different there.
It's just a 2v2, so we can take a look at those first two. So yeah, I didn't lock Kyrie because I mean we might get Westbrook if Beal is out. So yeah, we have Kyrie, Bledsoe, NAW, Hart, Kawhi, who are all core. Grant 6'6", really good price tag here. Hartenstein 4K, even with Love playing, like I don't expect Love to play a ton of minutes, probably 10 minutes. So I still like Hartenstein a lot here. I think Love probably ends up starting for Dean Wade, so probably won't affect Hartenstein. And then we have this 2v2. I actually didn't mention James Wiseman, but he's 4K here, playing around like 28, 29 minutes consistently. Been playing pretty well. Like he got 30 last game, I think 27 the game before. So I definitely don't mind him. I think he's pretty good value. And it lets me get to Jimmy Butler, who I like a lot for 9K here on FanDuel. So yeah, I was actually saying he's 9.3. I don't know why I was saying that before.
Yeah, I was trying to tell you. And then
Yeah,
you
I thought
said
you were
something about
saying-
his position.
Yeah, I thought you were saying he's 9.3 on DK, but
No.
yeah, he was 9.3 on FanDuel last time. So that's
He's also only, I mean, I guess there's like the multiple slots on DraftKings, but he's just power forward there, I think, or small forward.
yeah. So that's what I was saying about the position. What's his price tag there?
It's 9K as well, I think.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah. So I mean, same thing as I said. I just got the price tag wrong. But yeah, I mean, I like the first side here a lot more. I like getting up to Jimmy Butler, who's pretty much a stud. Even though I like Hayward a lot for this price tag, I just always love jamming in the stud. When I saw no Dragic, I changed to the Butler team. So yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah. And then you're also getting a $300 price tag on Butler since you thought he was 9.3 on FanDuel. Let's see. Okay. DraftKings, let me load up your cores here. You have Leonard, same guy as FanDuel. Nikhil, Alexander Walker, same thing. Bledsoe Hart, same thing. You also have Hartenstein here. I guess touch on Hartenstein, Chris. Is he a lock regardless of Love with the price tag and the multiple position eligibility on DK?
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein.
Yeah, I mean, if like I said, I think he's going to start. I think Love probably pushes Dean Wade out of the starting lineup. So yeah, it's 3.7K here on DraftKings. So had to add him in.
Okay. Let's see what we got. So there's just three positions to play around with. Seeing some Grant in the first one, Sexton in the second one. What do you want to go over? Westbrook in the third one.
Yeah, let's take a look at these first two. Like I said, I think Beal ends up playing today, but if that doesn't happen, we can obviously change to a Westbrook team.
Carter Williams out.
Carter Williams is out.
Yeah, he's got an illness, stomach ache, but non-COVID.
You sure he's out?
100% sure.
Is it the same thing as last time where he was like scratched and then he ended up playing? I mean, I don't
What is
know.
he eating? Like, is this the team chef or something?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it says in the NBA injury report. You might not get this one. It says, yeah, injury, illness, not available, illness, non-COVID. So maybe he'll take like a Tums, some Pepto. He'll be fine. Clearly, something with his diet isn't right. um, I mean, yeah, you can't have that as a professional athlete.
Yeah, so I think maybe if RJ Hampton ends up starting for Carter Williams, they usually start Chase on Randall, but um, I don't know. I kind of like RJ Hampton here. He's pretty sneaky, so he probably gets a bump here. Obviously, Terrence Ross will get the biggest bump, I think, but I don't want to play Terrence Ross for 7K on both sites, so I don't think it changes too much that news, just because they got all their newly acquired guys in now. But yeah, he's out. He's not scratched this time, so I don't think he's going to end up playing.
Yep. And then just on these DK ones, did you finish talking about them, or I think you were just in the middle of it?
Yeah, so like I was saying with Westbrook, if Beal ends up being out, we can just change if that happens. And then yeah, there's just a 1v1 here, I think. Like all these guys we talked about when I went over FanDuel, James Johnson is the only one I didn't. He's 3K here, so I like that price tag a lot. It opens up everything else, and then we have this 1v1 Grant versus Sexton. I was talking about it at the start of the show. The Sexton matchup isn't great. Biggest spread, lowest total. Grant is playing the Wizards, so pretty easy decision here for me with Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, we didn't really say that about Detroit. Usually we make a bit more of an emphasis when guys go up against Washington, but you love to target that matchup a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I did mention it quite a bit. Like if Ellington is out, we could play Josh Jackson there. He's sneaky. But yeah, most of my interest comes from the front court there with Jeremy Grant and Mason Plumlee.
Got it. Okay, anything else you want to go over here? Royal King says, why is half the NBA literally out? It's depressing, Chris.
Yeah, it's annoying, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, anything else you want to go over before we wrap it up here?
No, I think we're good.
All right. What happened to that home run? Why was it taken away? Like, how do you get a home run and then have it taken away?
You go in front of the guy on the bases. So if you pass him, um, so there's another runner on the base, like first base or whatever. The batter hits a home run. So I think the guy on first base didn't know it was out of the park. He probably thought he caught it, so he ran back to first. And then the batter who hit the home run, Bellinger, passed the guy who was on the base. And if you pass the guy who's on the base, it doesn't count.
Like, if you pass him reaching to a like second base, or just like if you literally are just like ahead of him before on your way.
If you're ahead of him.
Wow, they have to pull up like the replay for that
Yeah,
replay center.
yeah.
Was it close?
I didn't see it, but I've seen it in years past.
Got it. Sounds like some NBA last 2 minute replay. Yeah, what do you like that? Like all of those video reviews, or not so much? Like, what do you think of that? Because I think it's more than before, right? Like it's getting more and more.
I think it's good. I think get the call right. That's what matters. I also think they're doing it a little faster than before, so I like it.
Yeah. Do you think there's still some weird like rules with that? Like if, like I think like if someone has like a foul, but there's like a travel or something before the foul, and they check that, like they can't change that, like things like that. Like, you think there's room for improvement still, or do you like the current way they have it, like kind of
Yeah,
restricted?
there's definitely room for improvement. If they challenge, I don't know if they challenge goaltending, like and there's an obvious foul or something, they can't change it. So I don't know. There's room for improvement, but
And then, what do you think about in the future when they have like a bunch of video cameras set up and just use like AI to officiate? Like, I think that's possible for sure. Do you think that would ruin the game, or like do you think that'd be better if like every call was done by like a robot, like a
no,
computer?
I think it would be much better. Like, yeah, I think the only important thing is consistency. So that would be very consistent, I would think. So yeah, I think it would be a good thing.
Yeah, because I mean that's got to be in the works. I feel like it's definitely within the realm of possibilities with like what you can do with AI. So I can just see that happening in the NBA. I don't know when, but it seems like something they would use. I'm not sure. Maybe they use that already to like grade referee performances or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's going to complain as they always do, but they always complain about the refs anyways. So it would be interesting to see people's reactions.
Yeah. So yeah, we got requests from World King here to go over the after hours quickly, Chris. So this is FanDuel. Seeing a lot of well, I guess we can go over the players card here. Chalkiest players. I guess up top it's Gordon, Capella, Derek White, Bogdanovich, and then the super chalky Kawhi Leonard, Marcus Morris, locks there. DeRozan, Trae Young, also close to locks. What do you make of this slate here, Chris?
Yeah, so too many Spurs for me just means I would stay away from this slate. I hate playing the Spurs.
So we have a solution for Chris. Open up the sidebar, crank down the Spurs to 0, hit build again, and then
Now we're getting like a 10-point difference in projections, which doesn't make me feel good.
but no Spurs, so you must feel better about that.
Surprisingly, I don't.
Yeah. Let's see. World King says, are you guys gonna start doing MLB soon? You mentioned you might do like a video every day or something.
Yeah, we might do an offline video or something, but probably not a live stream.
Yeah. What format would you do? Like a rapid fire slate overview? Like,
I'm not sure.
yeah. Gotta think of it. But yeah, nothing else you want to go over, Chris? Any important news to watch for as we go into slate? I know we have Beal. We got the Beal news, questionable tag for him still. Kendrick Nunn questionable for Miami, but I don't think that'll change too much. Kind of stacked there. Atlanta, we have DeAndre Hunter questionable. Anything important, Chris, other than Beal?
Probably Marcus Morris is the next most important after Brad Beal, but yeah, Brad Beal is the main one.
Okay. Let's wrap it up then. So if you guys want to try out the optimizer we've been using throughout the show, as always, link is in the description of this video, or go to dfscrunch.com. If you're a new member, you can get yourself a free 3-day trial automatically applied without any coupon code. No special link needed. Just go to our site, create your account, and then first 3 days are completely free, unrestricted access, Discord, all the sports, FanDuel, DraftKings, all the different slates that we have. So there's a lot of action, especially with MLB starting up. So definitely take advantage of that trial. Try it out. Cancel if you want to. Just cancel before 72 hours from when you sign up. Yeah, just try it out. No risk at all. So definitely check that out. And then what else do we have? We have YouTube housekeeping as well. So before you leave, guys, make sure, just a reminder, hit the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you're subscribed if you like the content today. We do the same format every single day. 2.5 hours before main slate. Same format as I just said. So it's a good time. So be sure to do that so you can come back. I'll be back here tomorrow, Friday, 2.5 hours before main slate. I think it's same time as today. So
Probably.
Huh?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later. But yeah, we'll be back at it tomorrow, guys. We'll be in the Discord, so if you guys have more questions, we'll be in there. So come hang out in the Discord as well. And yeah, that's it, guys. Good luck today, and see you all tomorrow.